Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I've done a journal flip through, mainly because it took me a little while to get through this one. I think it took me about 9 months to get through. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, there were just a lot of things going on during the time I was in this, mainly moving and adjusting to a new schedule. And so yeah, I've got a fresh cup of coffee here. I'm just going to set that to the side, and there's a lot to kind of look through in here, so we should just get started. Alright, so first things first. So I started this in the fall, in September, and I always try to decorate the I guess you call this the dashboard. I'm not totally sure. It's kind of like that first page in the journal that's kind of hard to write on, so I just decorate front and back to give it some personality. And I have a quote here from George Eliot. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Hopefully I'm focused okay. If not, I apologize. But it says, "Delicious autumn, my very soul is wedded to it, and if I were a bird, I would fly about the earth, seeking the successive autumns." I love that quote, and I love fall or autumn or wherever you are in the world, and whatever you call it. Yeah, so this is the back page, and we've got some stickers here, if you can see that. This was actually from some planner stickers that I had left over that I didn't quite use. And some washi there at the bottom. And this I had to save. It says Snuggle Bandit here. I actually got these from a pair of socks from Bath & Body Works, and they had a raccoon on them, and I think they're blue. And I just thought that was so cute. And then here is a card from one of my friends that I stuck in there. A movie ticket. I don't usually go to the movies these days just because they've gotten so expensive, but I went to go see Bridget Jones' Baby back in the fall, and it was a pretty decent movie, I have to say. I really like this washi tape together as well. And I have some receipts here. I don't remember exactly what they're from, and I'm also thinking I might not put receipts in my journals anymore just because they do eventually fade, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah. And yeah, some what are those called? Fortune cookie, fortunes, whatever, right there. And I have a lamb's ear that I picked. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's just a plant that, is really soft. I just stuck it in there. I actually saw that outside of our library and just made a little pocket for it. Actually, I didn't make it, but I taped it in there. I usually put my most recent finished essential oils in here. I just peel off the label and stick it in. I just think they're really colorful, and I don't know, I just kind of like to see what I've used up over time. And this was a magazine page. Oops, sorry. It says Grand Finale. I think it's kind of fitting for the fall season because everything's just kind of dying, and but it's beautiful. I love the fall. This is the listing to our home that I put in this envelope. It's the same listing that we had with us as we were going around looking at different kind of, different homes or whatever. And I just wanted to remember that. And this says Turning Over a New Leaf. And it says, there's a quote here that says, "Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall." And that's from F. Scott Fitzgerald. And October 2nd of 2016 is when our contract was accepted on our home. So I definitely had to commemorate that. I love this washi tape. I found it on Etsy probably about a year ago or so, and it was just a sample, and I kind of wish I had more of it. This was a leaf from a tree that was outside of my office. where I work, but unfortunately they tore it down, I think in the late fall or sometime in the winter or something. So I'm pretty glad that I got that because they were my favorite trees. Yeah. And this is kind of when my writing started to slow down. There's a lot less on the page. There's mostly just washi at the beginning of each entry. Yeah, a little note from my sister that she left me on my car window, or windshield, I should say. This is a sweet little postcard from Megan, Tulip Tube, on YouTube and Instagram, if you guys don't know. And I kind of like the kind of gold, bronzy text on this washi tape here. I got a few tubes of the Halloween washi way back in the fall from Michael's. Definitely keep a lookout for that. I really liked, I really like is what I meant to say, themed washi. This is a little article, if you can see it at all. It's a little article about how to copper leaf on different things, like there's a pumpkin there and there's a bowl. I thought that was pretty interesting. And again, I really like the color of that washi. And here we're getting ready to move into our house. And I'm talking about how we became homeowners, and I've got some keys here and some more stickers. And this was actually from scrapbooking, and I actually tore off. There's like always a little pad, a little sticky pad in the back that kind of makes it pop off the page, and I just tore it off and taped it in there with some double-sided tape. And here's a little teepee. And there's some stickers here. It says kitchen and living room. They're like moving boxes. And these are actually some cards that I put in, one from our real estate agent and then one from our loan officer. I'm trying to think of the word. And then here is, we're in the Christmas season, as you can probably tell. And I try to like to coordinate the washi tape with like whatever I'm sticking on the page, whatever picture or whatever I'm choosing to put in there. And actually I got a lot of Christmas washi from Michael's last year, and I ended up not using a lot of it, unfortunately, just because I was getting used to my new schedule and things like that I just didn't have time to write, which was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, but next year, or this year I should say, will probably be a lot different. And this says joy to the world, and you can see the Christmas washi in there. And this is New Year's. Oh, and then this is from a tea bag, the Yogi tea. I really like how they have little messages on their tea bags. And I think there's another brand that does the same thing. I can't remember which brand it is right now. But it says your soul is your highest self. Some sparkly washi tape. I also like to try to coordinate the washi with seasons as well. I'm a very seasonal person. This is a little perfume sample thing, whatever, that comes in the mail. And I thought it smelled really good at first, and it smells decent. It's called, I think it's called Stash. It's by Sarah Jessica Parker. And I really like sticking perfume samples in my journal to, they kind of just smell good when you're flipping through. But this really ended up not smelling great as I continued to work in my journal. It just kind of smelled like, I don't know, just did not smell good at all. This is a little sample of our Christmas cards. that we got last year. Somehow through moving and everything, I managed to order the Christmas cards before we moved and sent them out right before Christmas, so, or a few weeks before Christmas, I should say. This is from some Christmas gifts that I got. My aunt sent me a package, and I love the wrapping paper that she used. And then this is actually from my Secret Santa from work. This is also from my Secret Santa. And this was just a Christmas gift that my sister got me a few years ago. I was finally able to break these little Christmas bowls out and use them. So I saved the tag and put that in there. And then this is actually from a Christmas bag. Yeah, it looked just like this, and there was a tag on it that was a smaller version. So I just, yeah, saved that piece and stuck it in my journal. And now we're moving into February. As you can see, there's like Valentine's Day washi tape at the bottom. And here's another little tag. It says, "Life is like a cup of tea. It's all about how you make it." And I actually have that on my Instagram as well. And yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of writing in February at all. January and February were very slim. Slim with writing. And then now we're going into March, and I have some rainbow washi here. Kind of themed it for St. Patrick's Day. Here I have some more essential oils that I've used. Kind of stuck them in rainbow order, sort of. Yeah, so we have some green washi tape at the bottom there. And this is a postcard that my friend made me for St. Patrick's Day, obviously. And I have some St. Patrick's Day washi tape down here as well. And she kind of bordered hers in the same, her postcard that she made in the same washi tape. This is another perfume sample. Mademoiselle from Coco Chanel. I'm sure a lot of you know that one. I really love that smell. And you can see how it kind of sticks out over the edge. Maybe you can't. There it is. And usually that bugs me, but I just decided to go with it. This is the end of April, and I finally started putting a little bit more in my journal and dressing up my pages a little bit, which I was very happy to get back into. And I love these two washi tapes together. This is another little tea tag, whatever. Oh, Traditional Medicinals is the other brand. There you go. And it says, "A garden is a delight to the eye and a solace for the soul." And this is from when we moved in. It just says "Welcome Wagon." And this is another sticker. It says "Home Sweet Home." And here we are in about mid-May, and so I'm really starting to finally get back into journaling and, you know, dressing up my pages a bit. This is a Polaroid card that I got from Target about a year ago, and I have a quote in there. And the back page, this kind of pinky back page, if you can see it, is from a magazine that I got also last year. It's called Flow Magazine, and they just have a bunch of paper goodies in there. I didn't see it this year, or I haven't seen it this year yet, so I don't know if they just do it like once in a while, or I have no idea. Here we are. This is after we went to a wedding, and I just wrote "Ever After," if you can even read that. There it is. And another one of those tags. It says, "Where there is love, there is no question." And I put the invitation in here. And there's another quote here. And it says, "It's been occurring to me I'd like to hang out with you for my whole life." It's such a nice quote. And this is actually some scrap paper from that Flow magazine, from a project that I'd previously done. I don't even remember what that project was. I don't know. But I have another little pocket here with a quote. And it says, "I have late night conversations with the moon. He tells me about the sun, and I tell him about you." And these are some pictures that we took at the wedding with a disposable camera, or not a disposable, what are they called? Kind of like a Polaroid. I can't think of what they are right now. Oh well, you guys know. This is a page. I was really reminiscing pretty hard one night about some music I used to listen to when I was like in middle school, I think. And I just kind of wrote down just these obscure songs that I don't often remember that I still kind of like. So you guys can read that if you can, if it's even in focus. I really hope this is in focus. Forgive me if it's not. This is actually from the Flow magazine. Technically you're supposed to cut it out and you can build like a little house with it, but I'm never going to do that. So I just put these obviously in my journal with a gray background from some scrapbooking paper, I think. This is my awful attempt at hand lettering. Forgive me. It's terrible. These two little things are from some kind of rub-on that I used. It was my first time ever using rub-ons, and I'm pleasantly surprised. This is from a magazine. It says, "It's not the face, but the expressions on it. It's not the voice, but what you say. It's not how you look in that body, but the things you do with it. You are beautiful." I don't know why I put that in there, to be perfectly honest. I didn't have a reason. I just kind of needed to use up some space and felt like that was a pretty good one to use. So this is another perfume sample. It's by Coach. Oh, something I didn't put in. And here we're trying to catch up. I had a lot of just random things piling up from like the past, you know, ever since the fall really, that I really needed to stick in my journals. And this is just from Easter, an Easter service that we went to with my in-laws. This is actually from, it's a little bit private, so obviously I covered it up, but I closed a bank account that I've had since I was a teenager, and I was just writing how sentimental that was to me. This is about a Whole Foods project that I was working on with a blog that I do. And this is about the Christmas service that we went to with my in-laws, and just, you know, Christmas stuff, because I didn't write about that at the time. Like I said, there's some major catching up to do. This was actually for Memorial Day. And then here we are catching up once again. This was around, let's see, this was another Whole Foods thing that I did. They gave us some free wine, and one of them was a champagne that I took home and celebrated, you know, having our own house or whatever. So that's what I did with my share. There's nothing really on this page, just a little bit more private. This is actually from October. I actually wrote down this quote because I really wanted to remember it. So we were living at my in-laws' house this past October, and I was helping hand out candy, and this little boy says to us, you know, "Have a nice trick-or-treating day," and it was just, I don't know, so cute, and it made my night. Here's a quote here. She dreams more often than she sleeps. And I don't know if you guys saw this on Instagram. You guys probably can't see that. Anyway, you can go to my Instagram and see it better if that was a little blurry. Here is something, there's a quote down here, and to be honest, I can't really read it. Oh, it says, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars makes me dream, and that's by Van Gogh. And at this point in my journal, I had about had it. I really wanted to get into a new one. So I'm just kind of trying to fill up the space here, and decided this little celestial, you know, theme would work. This is the camera at the wedding that we were using, or something similar to that. What do they call? Oh, instant cameras. I guess, okay, sure. And here's a little article or blurb or whatever about just sentimental stuff. I really love journaling cards. They're really useful in just, you know, decorating your pages. And I have another T tag here. It says, there is pleasure in the pathless woods. And here we are again, trying to catch up and, you know, stick some stuff in our journal and use up space. This was more around fall time when we went to, I live in Virginia, so there we have the Shenandoah National Park, otherwise known as Skyline Drive, and it's just kind of up in the mountains, and yeah, anyway. There's that, and this is a restaurant we went to. And here's a map of Skyline Drive. And this was in like a newspaper, not like a news, what is it? Like a newsletter or something that they handed us when we first started our little journey there on Skyline Drive. This is probably one of my favorite pages. There's just something about this that's really happy to me, and I really love the coloring, which I don't think is coming up on camera. This has something to do with Hanson. Yes, I'm a fan of Hanson. I know, make fun of me for it later. This is an article that that I liked a while ago, and I wrote a little bit about it. This is about turmeric, the spice, and how I've been using, or doing my own cup of tea, like turmeric tea, I guess, is that, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and then the most recent essential oil, and then a little information about turmeric and cinnamon and ginger and clove. And I really like how this turned out as well, just the bright colors, which I don't think is coming out on camera, unfortunately. But yeah, I really tried to coordinate the washi tape with the picture here. This is a handmade card from my friend. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with that. This is part of it as well. And pretty much after I put this in here, it kind of got a little difficult to write in. Well, it was already getting difficult to write in, but that it's like really thick card stock, so which honestly gave me a better excuse to just move on with another journal, if you ask me. This was just a little something or other about coffee and kind of making your own different flavors. Yeah, I kind of love this little picture with the spoons, and it has like chocolate and peanut butter, and I don't even know what else they have on those. Cream, marshmallow cream. That would be fun to, like, you know, dip in your coffee or whatever. This is when the journal, if you can see, yeah, it's like getting super hard to write in at this point. I went back to the library and wrote, and then picked another lamb's ear. And of course, when I was playing with it, trying to figure out a place to plop myself and write, I kind of tore it a little bit and just ended up sticking it right in there. I love this picture, if you can see it, hopefully. It's kind of a black and white picture. It's a girl climbing a tree, and this little cute blanket here. It just reminds me of, you know, this time of year, the summertime, you know, catching lightning bugs or fireflies or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know, just the simpleness that came with our youth during the summertime. Kind of miss that. And this is actually the last page, I think. Yeah, this is it. Just a picture of a family photo album there, and some awesome washi at the bottom. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I had I had a good chunk left, actually, if you ask me, if you can see that. But this was just getting too hard to write in, and I had already ripped out pages to just make more room to stick stuff in, because I love doing that with my journals. It just got too big, and it looks even bigger right now because there's a bunch of sticky notes in there. But yeah, so I'll show you what I moved on to. This one here. This one, if you watched my video about the old blank journals that I kind of retrieved from my stepdad's attic, this was among that collection, and it just spoke to me. You know, certain journals just do that. I'm quickly finding I'm not the only one who experiences that with journals. Certain ones just speak to you, and it's the right time to use them, and then certain ones just kind of wait to be used, I guess, wait their turn. And this is it right now. I have found that the binding on here is quite delicate, and I could easily probably rip off the cover and back cover, so I'm a little nervous about that. But so far so good. I'm about halfway to being halfway done. Yeah, so we're about that far. I don't think it's going to take me as long, obviously, because it's not as big, to fill this one up as it did the other one here. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I finish this by the end of July, hopefully, if I keep up my pace. So yeah, and I think I already have my next one picked out. I'm going to wait to reveal that one just in case I change my mind. And I think that's it for now. So yeah, until my next video, bye guys.